All right. Business relationship management, or BRM. Business relationship management is concerned with maintaining the business relationship between the service provider and the customer. So these are, as a high level, these are the folks that go out and they take the customer to lunch, they give them tickets to a baseball game, they're constantly talking to them about how well things are going, right? We may not necessarily want this to just to be a report. We send you a report and then that's it. We never talk to you. We saw you at the kickoff meeting. We don't see you for another 3 years. Business relationship management is concerned with maintaining the business relationship between the service provider and the customer. Um, the whole purpose of business relationship management is to make sure is to establish and maintain the business relationship between the service provider and the customer based on the understanding of the customer and the business needs, which we talked about. It is also to identify customer needs and ensure that the service provider is able to meet those needs as business needs change over time and between circumstances. So those are the twofold, these two items here. And then lastly, BRM ensures that the service provider understands these changing needs. This process also assists the business in articulating the value of the service. So with BRM, we are concerned with maintaining that good relationship. And oh, here we go. We could just read off this slide. Difference between BRM and SLM. Very distinct differences. So business relationship management has a distinct difference between service level management. The purpose of BRM is to establish and maintain business relationship between service provider and customer by understanding business needs, right? So BRM is working with the service provider and the customer. We're making sure that the customer is aware of their business needs. We're taking that information back to the organization to say, hey, this is what they're saying. This is what they need, right? Service level manager, however, is negotiating the service level agreements with customers and ensuring that the processes are appropriate for at the agreed upon service level targets. So service level management happens later. Its focus is not on understanding what the organization needs. The information ultimately will be trickled down to service level management. Two totally different things. The focus with business relationship management is strategic and tactical. It focuses on the overall relationship between the services of the service provider and the customer. So we're talking about overall, where the service level management, which we'll talk about later, is tactical and operational. It talks about, okay, here are the different service levels. Did we meet those or did we not meet those? So it's talking about the delivery of those. Whereas BRM is just focused on the overall relationship, more high level. The primary measure of BRM is customer satisfaction. So we want to make sure the customer is happy, they're feeling good, they are enjoying their experience, they are telling other people in the industry great things about us, that warm and fuzzy feeling. Service level management, their primary measure is whether or not we're meeting our SLAs. Those ultimately lead to customer satisfaction, but it's more metric driven. SLM is more metric driven. BRM is customer satisfaction. How do they feel? What are they saying? What are they telling people about us? What do they need? And which are sometimes more intangible, right? A customer, and it's happened to me plenty of times. I've worked with a organization or a service provider, and we start to do something or work on something, and then the program manager says, oh no, I just went to lunch with XYZ. He's saying that instead of us doing this, we probably should be doing this. So I'm going to draw up something. I'm going to write up an agreement or a contract modification, and we're going to go in a different direction. So that's business relationship management.
So before a service is implemented or agreed upon, before a process begins, business relation management happens, and there's somebody that goes in between the service manager and the customer and says, what do you need to be happy? How can we help you? They report back to the service manager and says, this is what they need to be happy. Set your criteria for your process based on what they need.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And it's important to note that in somewhere in between there, the BRM is going to the contracts folks or service delivery manager and saying, hey, document this, write up this. We're going to send this to them, have them sign off on it so that your team can start working on this new thing over here, or change, or it'll be a modification of what you're already doing. So business relationship management, their focus may be just a verbal agreement or some verbal feedback that they get, but they also need to provide that information to like a service delivery manager or a contracts manager so that they can document the change or the modification.
And then they can get a statement of work sent back over.
Yes, exactly.
Gotcha. Remind me, OLA?
Organizational level agreement.
Gotcha. Okay.
Alrighty.
Feeling good.
Good.